Conflict can have a big impact on productivity and team's morale. So understanding how to identify and deal with conflict plays a big part in managing a remote team. In a face-to-face environment, identifying conflict and dealing with it effectively is difficult enough. When it comes to managing remote teams, who may be teleconferencing with one another across different continents, the problem even gets greater. In addition, virtual teams may be more prone to conflict than office-based teams. According to Stanford professor Lindred Green, conflict in virtual teams is more likely to be negative for performance and is more likely to escalate. There's many reasons why this could be, but oftentimes it comes down to lack of communication and transparency. I'm here so we can figure out how to make virtual team relationships healthy. And when we talk about virtual or remote teams, we're talking about a group of people who work together in different geographical locations, as well as a team that uses technology in order to communicate. Why is remote conflict difficult to detect? In an office, team members often catch up with each other by the water cooler or the coffee machine. At moments like these, as well as in face-to-face meetings, conflict between team members is easy to spot. People tend to express discord using body language or facial expressions. When a manager senses friction, they can take action and make sure they sort things out and move on. This doesn't happen in a virtual environment. Conflict often stays hidden. This is because virtual team members may disappear behind their computer, leaving problems to simmer and stay unresolved. And many people believe that sensitive issues should only be dealt with face-to-face. For example, managers often wait for the opportunity to speak to staff in person if they have a sensitive matter to broach them with. The impacts of conflict can affect the bottom line. Without a strategy in place, conflict can balloon out of proportion. Whether it's from a clash of personalities or a disagreement of how projects should progress, managers need to deal with discord immediately. Make use of the latest communication software. Communicating via email or through non-video call can lead to conflict. Team members may take things personally when a challenge to their ideas lands in their inbox. The email could come from a colleague who's a continent away, rather than in the same office. This disconnection can lead to a source of frustration and resentment. Without being able to see the expression of the person sending the email, recipients may automatically assign them negative attitudes. They also may react aggressively, and the conflict could develop into a back and forth series of interactions that escalate quickly. This may sound obvious, but you should adopt a high-quality video conferencing system to mitigate these kind of misunderstandings. Seeing facial expressions and body language can help get a better understanding of someone's comments. Video allows team members to elaborate what they're trying to say as clear as possible. You can also see yourself on the screen, and that's a great way to check how you're coming across to others. Look out for changes in communication behavior. A good virtual team leader should be on the lookout for changes in team members' behavior. For example, if someone changes their tone in messages or emails. Be on the lookout if an individual suddenly changes their messaging style. If they usually use emojis or exclamation marks, but start making clipped replies such as okay or fine, this could be a sign that they're not happy with a team member or a project. The same thing applies to group threads. When a team member appears reluctant to discuss issues with a certain person or stops engaging with that individual altogether, the team manager's alarm bell should ring. To resolve this issue, it's important to step in as soon as negative behaviors occur. And then get proactive by asking relevant questions. Checking in with individual team members is paramount to stopping potential conflict before it escalates. Hold regular online meetings. Encouraging team members to get to know and trust each other is a great preventative measure for conflict. In a virtual team, members don't experience the casual or spontaneous interactions. This makes it more difficult to build a natural rapport. Virtual meetings are the next best thing to face-to-face meetings, and high-performing remote teams hold these on a regular basis. They enable bonding, create relationships, and build trust. Once trust is established, there's less likelihood of conflict arising. People tend to be more forgiving of people they know. As well as holding project meetings, arrange a place where people can communicate easily on a social level, such as discussion boards. These are places where online team members can put their ideas up for discussion. Look at meetings as a way to resolve conflict too. Where conflict has been identified, set up a meeting to discuss the identified area of disagreement. To make the meeting effective, Set an agenda outlining objectives and provide background information. Allow each person to share. And don't pass judgment, but allow everyone to speak. Each participant should share their feelings and perceptions of what's going on. Use more positivity than negativity in online communication. When dealing with remote teams, it's important to keep the morale high if you want to avoid conflict. Team leaders should aim to be as positive as possible in communications. Being constantly on the alert for negative feedback can demotivate team members. Receiving small positive messages, like a thank you after a meeting, shows the team member that their input is valued. Other ways to keep team members engaged could be to send them interesting articles or funny videos occasionally. This kind of friendly contact is also helpful for your team's general well-being. You can also help make team members feel more included by holding online brainstorming sessions. Not only does this bring new ideas to the table, but also allows team members to thrash out solutions to problems. This has the added bonus of stopping conflict before it ever rears its head. Show strong leadership. Studies show that task leadership isn't always enough to resolve conflict among virtual teams. Successful teams are run by leaders who understand their members' needs and know how to adapt to the remote working environment. Team leaders need to walk the walk when it comes to overcoming conflict, whether it's interpersonal or task-related. If the team leader is disrespectful or abrasive, team members may follow suit. It's essential to prioritize respect when working with others online. An I know best attitude isn't helpful. In order to resolve conflict, it's essential to listen to your team members' opinions. This is how you smoothly figure out a way forward. Allow team members the time and space to voice their concerns. If there's something bothering a team member, they may be reluctant to air their concerns. Encourage open communication by setting aside a regular one-on-one catch-up. This will help with monitoring an employee's performance, and it's an appropriate place for them to communicate their problems. Let team members know that there's an open door policy and they have a voice that will be listened to. As a remote team manager, it's essential to see conflicts as they arise and have a sound strategy to deal with them. Not having coworkers to vent with over coffee makes having real conversation difficult. Fighting between people via private message or emails that others can't see can happen. It can even influence team members to feel disinclined to sign in the morning. Remote teams have different needs compared to office-based needs, and most of the difference comes from communication. Conflict may be unavoidable, but it can be managed well so projects don't get derailed or get to the stage where customers are impacted. I hope this helped you figure out how to deal with any possible team conflicts when you're working remotely. Just remember, when it's impossible to get everyone in the same room, conflict can be worked out with consistent, impartial leadership and guidance. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe and check out some of the other videos. Thanks for watching.